have another unboxing. Yes, I have an addiction to Oracle and Tarot decks. It's a healthy addiction. I think it serves everybody really well, so you know, it's all good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I'm so excited to have you joining me here today. We are going to be unboxing my second deck that I ordered from Witchy and Wild, and that is the Astral Realms deck by Prism and Fleur. I'm really excited to share this with you guys, so let's get started. Before we dive into the deck, actually what I want to say to you is, firstly, everything is timestamped below, and secondly, I always do a card pull whenever I open and unbox a new deck. So if you've already seen this deck, if you're already familiar with it, you can just go down to the timestamps in the description box and it can take you to the card reading. But if you haven't seen the cards, let's have a little look together. Okay, so let me just open up, or not open up the deck. Hang on, normally I can just slide my nail in. Okay, so I'm really excited for this. I follow Prism and Fleur on Instagram. I mean, I follow lots of people on Instagram, but I follow Prism and Fleur and I love all of her artwork. It's stunning. You guys know I love the mixed media look, and I just love the infusion of colors and energy that, you know, her and Melissa and Danielle and just all these other amazing Oracle and Tarot creators have put into their deck. But I was really excited when I found this. It's quite hard to find this in the UK, so there may be other stockists that I just don't know about who are in the UK. So my first impressions already are that this is a gorgeous matte box, and then it kind of has, and I don't know what the term is for this, but on the front here you can see the crystal here and then the moons. It feels plastic, but do you know what I mean when it's like it's another material. It's not foiled, but it's not matte. I've explained that very well, haven't I? Definitely buy this deck because it's got some plasticky things on it. Anyway, no, it feels lovely. This deck to me is like a Cancer's dream. I was going to be a bit rude then. It's a Cancer's dream. Because it's just such gorgeous, calm colours, and I definitely think this is going to be a lovely addition to my decks. Having looked at it, I don't have any kind of crystal oracle decks. I have had some that I've received, say, in, you know, when I've bought a spiritual magazine, for example, but they're always really low quality. And that's either that the design is just really weak, it's not aesthetically pleasing, or it's just that the quality isn't great. So I know this is going to be good quality. I know the aesthetic is going to be gorgeous. So I'm really excited. So let's just take a quick look at the box. So we have these almost like suns coming off each of the corners here, which I really like. It's like coming out into it. And I love the way that this is. I love a portal. Love the... I should say, by the way, I love portals in terms of to look at, like gateways and doorways. In the Akashic Records, portals are not necessarily the most loving thing, so just something to be mindful of. So I love this, and it looks like it's got a crystal crown to me, which I think is so cool. And then on the back it says, a portal into the esoteric world of crystal healing and celestial influence, which again is really cool. I have nothing like that as well. And I didn't realise this is published by Rockpool. I didn't know that. I thought it was perhaps something individual. Okay, so as we open up the box, we have another beautiful sun design on the inside, which I quite like that. It's nice, it's simple, and it echoes the front of the box, which I think is lovely. And then let me just tip the deck out. We have the same pattern on the back on the inside. I quite like that. It's something quite simple. I like that she's put thought into the design. Pretty much every deck I've unboxed recently has had something on the inside, and if it hasn't, it almost feels like it's unfinished because so many people are doing this as a trend now, which I'm really glad they're doing, by the way. Oh, can we just talk about the design on the edge of this box though? This is cool, and it's in this kind of rose gold, maybe even a copper would be a more accurate colour. I'm going to call it rose gold, but you could argue it's a coppery colour on the edge. That's really cool. I like that. It's almost got this like Art Deco quality to it, which is pretty cool. I wonder if she likes the 1920s and stuff. So the first thing that we have is, of course, our guidebook. It's a nice chunky one. Is it in colour? It is in colour. Well, this is interesting. Can we just talk about that for 2 seconds? So I recently did an unboxing of Children of the Cosmos. Beautiful oracle deck. I absolutely love it. Using it is great. It's so accurate. I love it. However, the guidebook was quite thin and there were no pictures of the deck and there was no colour in it. And that deck I paid £35 for. This deck was £13.99 and it's completely in colour. with pictures inside. And on top of that, there's this beautiful, I think it's copper, there's this beautiful coppery kind of foiling on the edge of the deck, and there wasn't any foiling on the Children of the Cosmos. Now, of course, as I've said to you before, that could be a budget thing. I don't know how Children of the Cosmos came about. I don't know if for example, you know, it was a Kickstarter or something like that. But I would definitely say that it's really nice when decks are able to put those extra details in, like the foiling on the edge and even just the imagery. As I said to you many a time, I don't mind it being black and white, but to pay £13 for a deck and I get colour, and to pay $35 for a deck and I get black and white, I just find that interesting. And that, as I say, it could be because this deck's been around for a little bit longer, and so it's had the opportunity to be like a first, second, third edition, for example. Maybe that's something Melissa will bring in, but just is an interesting point I want to make is, in my head, I'm like, the more I pay for a deck, the more fancy it should be, right? That's just how my brain works, so that's just me. And I always think there's some kind of reason or conscious choice or decision that the artist and the creator has made. So I just wanted to share that with you as a comparison. I have literally just unboxed that one, which you guys will have seen in a few recent videos. And if you haven't watched it, why are you sleeping on that? Go and watch it right now. Watch this and then go and watch that as well. Okay, so the guidebook is gorgeous. And so obviously on the front, we've echoed the design from the front of the box, which is quite common, of course. And it's in this gorgeous matte finish with, again, this copper foiling. This is really copper to me. If it's meant to be rose gold, I apologize, but just to my eyes, it looks, but it could just be the light in here. The light isn't fantastic in this room. So yeah, if it's meant to be rose gold, sorry that I can't see. Okay, so, oh, this is interesting. So immediately I'm seeing there's an introduction, and then there's this chakra system, how to use the cards, and then the cards. That's really interesting to me. So each of the cards is numbered, so that can be sometimes easier if you're looking to find them. Really interested that she's included information on the chakras. Again, I don't know much about this deck. It could be that each card is connected to a chakra, which is cool. A little bit of information on how to use them. I really like that. So it says there's an energetic signature printed at the bottom of the card, and that alone may be sufficient to trigger thoughts and messages. There's a crystal messenger at the middle left of each card. There's a supporting element in the middle right of the card. So that could be a chakra, celestial body, or earthly element. Really interesting. So that's really cool to me. This is quite a unique deck, I feel. I don't know how many cards there are actually. I don't think there are many, are there? Yeah, there's only 33 cards. Again, 33, master number. Even though it's only a short deck, I think it's a great one. I feel sad that I've been sleeping on this. I mean, I've been looking at Paige's text for ages, like, which one do you pick? I nearly bought Accurate AF Tarot a while ago, and then it sold out as I was deciding in that Libran space of like, shall I get it, shan't I get it? And it sold out, and so I couldn't get it. So I actually feel like this is the deck that's more kind of aligned for me, so I'm quite glad I've got that. Let's just have a look. Each of them has a bit of information and then an activation, guidance, and an affirmation by the looks of it. So that's really nice. I do love it when they include like an interpretation for the card and then some kind of activation or something you can do. I think that's really nice. So this is a lovely guidebook. I think it's really nice she's included it in colour, and there's a little bit of information about her at the back. I have connected with Paige a couple of times. She's really lovely, really sweet soul. So yeah, I like connecting with the creator if I can, and just it makes you feel more inclined to connect with their work because you can connect with their energy. So let's have a look at the deck, which I can't believe how long I've just spoken for. Why don't I just get on with it? So let me just slide off the plastic sleeve, and we just have to talk for 2 seconds about this stunning, I can just see it reflecting there, this stunning foiling. I think it is very copper and I love it. And then on the back, the design on the back is really nice. It's very calm, it's very simple. It's got a very soft design that I would call a planet. And then you've got this gorgeous quartz crystal in the middle with what looks like no, that looks like rainbow moonstone actually. Got a nice druzy quartz. I can't really see what that is. That could be petals and maybe a coin or something. Interesting. So it's a nice design. Again, it's a really beautiful colour. As I said, I really think this is going to be every Cancer's dream, this deck. So let's just have a look at a couple. It's obviously in order. So we have Transcendence. So it's got Moonstone, Crown Chakra, and then we have the Om symbol at the top, and then I'm wondering what this symbol at the bottom could be. It could be, you know, Sacred Geometry, but it looks more like it could be like a Sri Yantra or something like that. And then obviously you've got some flowers as well that looks like iris. Maybe that's a peony, and that looks like cherry blossom. Love that. So already you've got different things you can divine and interpret, which I think is really nice. I like having a card that's got quite a lot of divination potential in it. So if you understand flowers and their meanings really well, you can be like, oh, well, this cherry cherry blossom is connected to X, Y, and Z. I don't know much about flowers, but this cherry blossom is connected to X, Y, and Z, so it means this and this. I mean, obviously this is about intuition as well as transcendence, because moonstone is nearly always about your divine feminine and your intuition and the crown chakra. So this is really cool. Then we have consciousness. That looks like a bit of lapis. Oh yeah, there, it says it right there, Marilys. And we have flower agate. I do love a bit of flower agate, it's lovely. Oh, I've missed a card there. Where's that? Oh, it's just stuck. They're quite new, so just carefully undoing them, because I did rip a card once when I got overexcited and opened it. Moss agate. That's a nice card, isn't it? Shakti. Deep knowing. Culmination. Intuition. What does that say? Eudaimonia. Eudaimonia? That's cool. I don't even know what that word means. Initiation, that's a really nice card. I like that one a lot. Aragonite. I used to wear a lot of aragonite actually. Regeneration, perseverance. I will say that the card quality is good. The stock is good. It's not too hard. For example, the Moonchild Tarot is a very thick stock, so you really couldn't bend the card, which sometimes can make it harder to shuffle. Whereas this has a nice strength to it. It's not too thin, it's not too thick. Let's see what it's like to shuffle. Yeah, again, because it's not an enormous deck, it's nice and easy to shuffle. You can hold it in the hand. It's not too big actually either. It's a good size. So yeah, I really like that. So I'm going to once again cleanse this deck and initiate it or connect to it off camera, just because it's nice to have a little sacred moment with them when you're tuning into them. And then when I come back, I will do a reading for you so that we can all connect and see what message it has. And I'm not sure how many cards should we pick? What do you guys think? Maybe we'll do a mind, body and spirit card instead of past, present and future. That's going to be my intention for this. So let me just cleanse and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have cleansed and thoroughly shuffled the deck and set the intention. So I did say I was going to do mind, body and spirit. I might also make that a pick a card to see what you need to connect with your mind, body or spirit. So the first card today will be connected to the mind, the second card will be connected to the body, and the third card will be connected to spirit. So I'll just open that up for you to intuit whether you need to hear all three cards, just the mind card, just the body card, just the spirit card. So obviously you can choose from that, and I'll put that up on the screen for you guys. Okay, interesting. So the card we have that's come through for the mind is expression. And this is card 3. It's connected to flower agate and to the throat chakra. I really feel like there's a bursting forth of something that needs to be expressed. So even though it's connected to the mind, this card, there's something that you maybe need to share. And when we're talking about the mind, obviously there are many different interpretations for that and meanings and things, and some people see the mind as a really positive thing and others see it as part of the ego. I'm just going to invite you to just let that go for a second and just invite you to think of the mind just as part of that portal, right? This is what this deck is about, is connecting to portals. So I'm wondering if you have opened your crown chakra and maybe received some ideas, whether that's a creative thing, a written thing, a vocal thing, whatever it is, and it's kind of got blocked. You're maybe holding yourself back from expressing it or sharing it. And this card is basically an invitation to express that. So to me, this is like expressing your soul. So even though we're mostly focusing on the throat chakra with this, obviously you come down the chakras to get to that point with what it is that you're going to express. We have some beautiful lily of the valley in here. We have some passion flowers, and I do think there's a peony at the back there as well. So yeah, I really feel that there's something that's coming up. There's something that's been stuck in your mind and it needs to be shared, it needs to be expressed and spoken forth. It's like, I just feel like you've received something and maybe you're nervous to share it with others for judgment or something, and you're like, oh God, what will people think? Now that could be in your relationship, in your family, for example. Maybe you've received, you know what to do, right? You've been thinking long and hard, like, what shall I do? You've received the idea or the concept in your mind, and you're like, I don't know if I can go any further than that. And actually you're being invited to share that. Or it could be more about who you are as a person, stepping into your truth, expressing yourself. What I'm receiving as I'm talking is, let me just tune back into that for a second. Yeah, okay, so what I'm receiving at the moment is that if it's just in your mind, then it's not being grounded and manifest into the physical. And sometimes when we are connected to the spiritual and when we have our awakening, we're very much like, oh, I want to be up here, you know, the top few chakras, I want to go back up, I want to be in that space. And we kind of forget to bring it all back down. And the whole point of being a human is to bring the spirit into the physical. Otherwise we would have stayed up in the spiritual realm. I say this all the time, you guys know that. So I feel as though actually maybe you've been kind of enjoying up there too much, and it's like, bring it down and share it. I'm getting a lot of like vision, seer, channel. That's kind of what I'm guessing at the moment. So I'll be interested to see if this resonates for you. I am going to look at her interpretation because I wonder if she's included anything about any of the flowers or anything. I don't know. Let's have a look. Okay, so she does mention here that when your throat chakra is closed or blocked, you will have trouble communicating with other people, which will affect your ability to speak your truth, which is so true. Like if you know what your truth is, if you've got an idea of it in your mind, but you're not sharing it, then other people can't understand it or can't respect it, right? The more authentic you are and the more you express that authenticity, the more that people can respect it, right? So if you're hiding it or holding it back because you're maybe blocked there, then it's stopping you from actually really living a joyful life. So mirror work is something I think is amazing. I did a lot of mirror work when I was healing from depression back in 2013. It's really intense, so I definitely invite you to just take it slowly and just give it a go for like a minute, and if it doesn't feel right, that's okay, come back to it another time. Just be gentle with yourself. So that could be looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, I am X, Y, and Z. So that could be absolutely anything. I do not want to project anything onto you because it's your truth. So what you feel will come up. And you might even just find that it comes up when you look in the mirror, and it might start off not being the most loving thing, and that might be what's blocking your throat chakra, is that you're holding this negative image about yourself in your mind. And as you start speaking, you can start to release those horrible things or those negative or toxic things you're feeling about yourself, and actually move into a more loving frequency and find that you're able to share that. So I'll be really interested to hear what you think of this mind card. If it resonates for you, let me know in the comments below, because it's so fascinating what comes up and what comes through in these readings. I really love sharing them. So that was the first card. Okay, let's look at the body card. Oh, this is one of my favorite crystals. So we have card 26, Curiosity, and it's connected to Apophyllite and to Jupiter. And this is a lovely card. It looks like there's a lot of apophyllite. I actually have an apophyllite actually that's very similar to this with stilbite in it, so I think those pink elements will be stilbite. And then I want to say like a shell or something at the top, so that's gorgeous. So this is about the body, curiosity. This is interesting to me. I like this a lot. So maybe this card is actually inviting you to get curious with your body. That could be on an intimate level, self-pleasure, or it could be about curious about all the different angles of your body, the different folds, the different whatever, like skin tones, stretch marks, whatever. Like get curious about your actual body. It is, after all, the temple for your soul. So get curious, get connected to it. What can it bring you? And we know that Jupiter is quite often about your purpose. It's also a good luck planet as well. So that's really interesting to me. That to me is very much about, is your body connected to your purpose? You know, is fitness or health, for example, is that something that you're focused on? Or body positivity, for example? Like what is it that feels good for you? So there's a curiosity, so there's a question to ask yourself here. And I feel like the first place to start is like, how do you feel about your body? What do you love about your body? What are you learning to love about your body? I love that question. What are you learning to love? And that includes everything. That includes anything that you don't like. What are you learning to love about your body? So this is a really interesting card to me. It also has a little eye down there as well. If we talk about this as an extension from the first card, because even though you can take each of these cards separately, obviously there is a connection, that it's almost like you have had this idea about your truth, and you've brought it down, you've started to express it, and now you're starting to embody it and get curious. I also really want to bring in the element of perhaps you are opening up to yourself as being queer, or I just feel there could be something about your sexuality that you're maybe exploring and finding out something different about yourself. And maybe that's the way you like to dress. Obviously becoming more androgynous or non-binary in your dressing, and you're having the confidence to share that side of yourself, that truth about yourself, is really important. So maybe there's something you need to explore about that and see how that feels. So I think take this literally, get curious about your body, spend time with it, spend time looking in the mirror and loving it, spend time doing things that feel good. You can interpret that how you like, but also like, what are 3 things you want to learn about your body or try with your body? Maybe there's a class that you've always wanted to try, like pole dancing. Maybe you've always wanted to try that. You've always been curious about it. Like go into that, have some fun. This card to me is like curiosity equals play, equals fun, equals exploration and learning and growth. So I think that's really interesting. I definitely would love to hear what you guys think about that. That could be about exploring your body within your relationship with your partner, or on your own, or outside of a relationship and more in everyday life. So I really invite you to think about how you'd like to interpret and receive the guidance from this card. I think it's really interesting it came up. Okay, let's see what the spirit card has brought through for us. Okay, yeah. So funny. I've got glitter all over me because I put a bit of glitter on me and it's gone onto the cards. This is another gorgeous card. Cognizance. We have Emerald and Mercury. Okay, so we all know that Mercury is connected to communication. This doesn't actually have a chakra that is connected to it, it has a planet, and that to me is very much the throat chakra again, because it's all about communication. So I really feel like that cognizance is like your intuition and it's your knowing. Yeah, this is definitely another communication card, which is really interesting. There's a lot of communication coming through, so I definitely think this is quite throat chakra connected. So for me, it's really about trusting your intuition, because she's got cognizance at the bottom here. I'm not totally sure what those flowers are actually. And Emerald is obviously connected to intuition. There's a gorgeous rainbow in the background here as well, which I think, again, that could connect more to rainbow souls if you recently watched my Indigo Crystal and Rainbow Children video. It also can be connected to, of course, we know that the rainbow is very much the symbol that is used in LGBTQIA. So I'm just getting a kind of sense of sexuality. I'll be honest with you, I feel like exploring your sexuality and the way you express yourself is coming up quite strongly in these cards, which I think is really interesting, and I'd love to know how that resonates for you. And that could be just really exploring your divine feminine, it could be really exploring your divine masculine, it could be exploring your body, it could be exploring how you express yourself. And also we need to integrate more. That's our truth, right? We don't have to be just boy, just girl. I think it's really interesting, and it's one of the most healing qualities I think that's coming through as we move more to the golden age. So I think that's really interesting. So I just want to bring that in. That could be something that you're exploring, it could be something that you are aware of, might be something that you've already, you know, that you've already expressed and you're already moving more into, which is great. So for me, this card is quite simple and it's quite soft with its message, which is trust your intuition, look at how you communicate with the world. And that starts with how you communicate with yourself, right? How do you talk to yourself? I am definitely someone who speaks horribly to myself at times, and I catch myself and I'm like, oh my god, that's horrible. You know, if I make a mistake, I'm like, oh, you idiot. And I'm like, oh my god, that's the terrible thing that I've just said that. Like, if I had children or if I was around other people, would I want to speak about myself like that? Not really. I don't think that would be very loving. I think this card is quite simple. Your spirit is saying, look at how you talk to yourself, look at how you talk to others, and trust your intuition. So there's a lot of throat chakra stuff and a lot of speaking your truth and being able to lovingly express yourself that's coming through from these three cards, which is really interesting. So again, let me know how that resonates below. Let me know what you think of this deck. Do you guys have it? Do you guys use it? Or were you thinking about getting it? In which case, I honestly would recommend it. I think it's going to go really nicely with a lot of my cards, and you'll see it in some upcoming pick a card readings that I will be sharing with you guys. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video and you've enjoyed the reading, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Testing, 1 2. That's probably really loud. Testing. Okay, now I'm gonna do, you guys can see these cards, they're so cute. I can't wait for you to see all of them up close. Like, honestly, it's such a nice deck. I love it. I have to say, just as I was shuffling the deck then, firstly, it's a really lovely deck to shuffle because the cards are really matte, and they're also, it's not a huge deck as well. Obviously, it's rather than past, present, future. Past,